All right. Good morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome back. Lovely to see you all as always. Let's go straight into the superpower state. So a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state. However you do that. So by repeating a word or phrase, using your anchor, or imagining hugging your subject. Feel your heart opening, feel that expansion feeling in your heart, and allow that light to shine. And feel that light or energy spreading down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the cells of your body, each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill that little you, so yourself as a child, any age, from the tips of their toes to the top of their head and out to their fingertips. Love that child just for existing. Now allow that light, that energy, that power to overflow from that child, that little you, and fill your whole childhood, no matter what. Shine that light into any darkness, filling everything and everyone with that light, that energy, that love. Good job. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from that and overflow from you and fill everyone who's in this group today. Those on camera, those off camera, love each one just for existing. And open your heart to receive the love from everyone else. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes if you have them closed. And welcome, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all. So I'm going to check in with each person now. So if anybody's new on the call, just to let you know, if you don't have your camera on, I won't come to you in case you want to remain incognito. So you can put your questions or comments in the chat if you'd like to remain incognito. If you don't say, you know, you can use my name, I won't use your name so that you feel comfortable with that. All right, so Tina, hello, how are you today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Very good.
Very good. You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I have a question about GPS. When we have the GPS, like where we want to end, how we want to have our life. So, like I know we have to practice the new memories and the new childhood. So what about the GPS? Do we have to go there every day too? Or is just we have the GPS and just is there, but we work on memories?
So that's a good question. So I think what you're referring to is the touchstone rather than the GPS. So the childhood memories are, the new childhood memories are the GPS coordinates. Well, the old ones are as well. So you change the old ones to the new ones. The touchstone is the moment in time. Is that what you're referring to? That moment in time that you go, oh, yes, I did it, or thank you. Is that what you're referring to? Or you're referring to the childhood memories?
No, I was thinking like, what do you do with the GPS?
So let me jump in a little bit and
I don't know how to.
A couple of words around that. So I know that when I use the words GPS when I'm working with clients, that when you think about the near future you, the things that you're trying to achieve in your life, what is it that you're trying to move your life toward? So I'd like to have more happiness, peacefulness, prosperity, those things. I think about that as the destination, the new GPS coordinates. So I think that the question you're asking is what do I do with the GPS coordinates?
Okay, so let me just make a distinction there. The GPS coordinates are the childhood memories, are the references. The destination is what I want. So prosperity, what Steve was just saying, prosperity, peace, happiness, that kind of thing, that's the destination. So you know when you drive somewhere and you set the destination, like I want to go, I know I want to go to the beach, but in the GPS, when you put the destination in there, the coordinates that, you know, it's so far south, so far west, or whatever, that is the childhood memories. Okay. So your destination, you know, there is no should with that. It's just keep your mind on that whenever you think of it. So like, especially, you know, when you're driving somewhere and let's say there's a roadblock or there's traffic, you know, traffic jam, and you're like, oh, now you want to keep in mind that you are going to wherever you're going to. I'm on my way to the beach, but at the moment I'm in a roadblock. But the fact that I'm in a roadblock doesn't mean I won't get to the beach. So when life seems to be challenging and you hit, you know, it doesn't look like it's working, or another problem, or I feel bad, that's like a roadblock. So you want to then remember, but I've set my destination to happiness, peace, money, whatever you want. Does that help?
So yes, I understand now. So yeah, okay. Now I know, because now I understand better. Thank you.
Good. Sorry for the confusion. And the childhood, the new childhood memories, those are the GPS coordinates. You want to keep checking that those are.
This is the way to the destination. Oh, I mixed GPS with destination. I was thinking about destination.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we change the memories and we're going there where we want to go.
That's it. Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
All right.
I have another one quickly about time. Last time you were talking about your mom, like she was always preparing herself so long you never could go, whatever she promised, or she goes somewhere, she come back very late and took forever. With my mom, I have the same problem, but with my mom is opposite. She was always quick, fast, boom, 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 everything. And she like yells sometimes at me or my sister, like, how long you gonna do this, or just fast, fast, fast. And I was thinking, because every time, even I wanna go to Superpower Stay, I say, okay, I'm gonna go to Superpower Stay now, but it's taking so much time. I don't have time. I wanna do this and this. Whatever I wanna do, I don't have time. It's taking so much time. I want it quick, quick, fast, fast. And I was thinking, okay, it's my mother probably. Yes. How I change this?
Very good question, Tina. And that's a great example. Okay, so what you can do is, so you want to change the childhood memories to where your mother was the opposite. So what I would do is, you know, hippies from the 60s, the headbands and the...
I know, yeah.
Yep. I would make your mum a hippie. Because there's no way she would be rushing, right? She'd be, it's all right, come on, let's relax. Sit down for a bit. Take your time. And maybe see you going, oh, Mum, sorry, I kept you waiting. No, it's okay. So you want to do whatever it takes. And maybe it's not a hippie, but just a hippie, it has that connection for a lot of people of being laid back and relaxed. So you want to create memories of your mum sitting down, relaxing, saying to you, it's okay, sweetie, take your time. There's no rush, right? So you look doubtful. Tell me what's going on there.
Because she was all alive, like working, going, and fast and quick. Like, I don't know how she did.
That's
like
it. Okay.
pasta in 5 minutes, boom, we have pasta. Like she was doing from scratch.
Yes. So let me ask you this. Is she still doing that around you right now? Right now?
Right now? No,
is
she's
she in the
not
room
here. She's in Poland.
Exactly. So the only place that's happening right now is inside your own mind.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I know that.
She's not there anymore. So she can't fit inside your head. So it's up to you whether she's quick, or whether she's a hippie and laid back and relaxed. That's entirely up to you. She has nothing to do with it anymore, right?
So I'm thinking how I'm going to change that. Like,
yeah. So I'll tell you how. So first of all, it's not your subconscious that is saying, oh, but she was quick. That's your conscious mind. Your conscious mind uses the logic. So your conscious mind is going, I can't imagine her being laid back because she wasn't laid back, right? That's your conscious mind. But now you don't watch a movie going, but that's not true, right? You don't keep saying that. If you watch a movie, you allow yourself to get into the movie and the story, and you allow yourself to get to be involved emotionally and mentally, and to suspend disbelief for a bit. That's what you want to do. You know she wasn't like that, but there are no dinosaurs. But we don't.
Or I have to put like very slow motions.
You can do, but it's more of an overall thing. Now, if you find that you still can't do it, then go to her childhood, because there's a reason she was like that, right? There's something in her she learned, because children aren't like that. Have you ever tried to hurry up a child? They're not like, okay, come on, unless of course there's something they're going to, they want something, there's something exciting, then yes, how long is it till Christmas? But if just in their everyday life, getting dressed, going out, eating, having a bath, I mean, it's almost a full-time job to get a child to hurry up and do anything, right? So she was not born like that. She learned somewhere in her childhood, she learned that it's very important to hurry up for whatever reason. Now, you may or may not know what that reason is. It doesn't matter. Just go and change it. Just create a whole new childhood where her parents were relaxed. And her parents said, sweetie, there's no rush. Take your time. Let's all just sit down for a minute and have a chat or play a game or whatever. Create memories like that to support it. Now, if as you're doing that, memories come up that contradict that, then change them. Change those. And if you find you can't, of course, do the back and forth with the superpower to bring the emotions down till you can change them. And if you still can't change them, due justice letter.
Okay.
All right. So, but what you're aiming for, so your destination with this particular memory, the end result you want is that your mum was laid back, peaceful, content, comfortable, happy, relaxed.
It's like, again, I'm thinking, because my grandma, she was slow. My grandpa, the same thing. Why my mother is completely different?
Maybe to balance it out. So I'll tell you something. My grandmother, my mother's mother. So remember I told you my mum was always late and she always seemed to be in it. My grandmother, her mother, was always ridiculously early. I mean, as children, we would go and we'd sit there for hours waiting for something to start. So they were polarizing. Now, possibly one of the contributing factors of that is with my mother growing up, having to wait all the time and feeling, I got to do something. Maybe that's what, so there's their references. It's always from childhood experiences. So she may have been trying to polarize. She may have experienced, like I experienced. So this is another great example. In my family, they were all brilliant at coming up with ideas, fantastic ideas, inventions and stuff like that, but they never took action on it. It would be, I would get all excited and go, oh, that's a great idea, let's do it. And they'd be, oh, but and they just like talking about it and they never actually did it. So the way I then polarized and made up for that was I wanted to jump in and take action with everything, whether it was going to work or not. I had this compulsion. Come on. Oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. And it was that background thing of if I don't act now, it's never going to get done. So that's an example of how it can be the opposite, but it doesn't mean it doesn't come from that childhood.
Yeah, probably that has sense, because yeah, my mother is like you exactly said, completely opposite. It's like my grandparents.
So that's why. So do basically whatever it takes to end up with your mum as relaxed and calm and peaceful, and saying to you, it's okay, there's no rush, relax. Yeah. Okay. Does that help?
Oh yeah, this feels good already.
Good job.
No
Very good, Tina. Good job. Oh, and just very quickly, I know you've been taking the coffee. You've been drinking the happy coffee, and how are you feeling from that?
Just today's my 4th day, so I feel good. After like the 3 days, I was feeling the difference, like more motivated a little bit, like my mind just changed.
Yes.
When I drink, like 1 hour later, I was different. My thoughts were different. So
fantastic.
I think it's great. I feel good. So
good. Thank you for letting us know. Good job. All right. And then Katrina. Hello, Katrina.
Hi, Odille.
Hi. How are you today?
Yes, I'm good. I'm working on this fantastic topic of money.
Ah, one of my favorites.
Right.
I've plenty of experience with that.
Okay, so I had said, this is how money makes me feel, right? And I went into all, and then I just sat and the system told me how I felt.
Yes.
So that's all down to, keep it short. And I have all this resistance. What was I saying? I feel really bad. I'm supposed to have money at this moment in time and feel secure, but I don't. I have all this resistance of having to start over again. I just get so tired. I get so annoyed. I'm so upset with myself. So what's so upsetting about not having money is I feel degraded and I feel less than. And one thing that came up was it was super important to my dad never to have any debt or owe money. So here I am. I don't know whether that's making me feel guilty about having money and now not having it.
Yeah.
Is that the program?
Could be. So let's just back it up a little bit and take those one at a time. So what is the worst thing about not having money? So you've given a few different things there. If you were to pick one, like that's the very worst thing, what would it be?
Out of that list?
Yeah. Or out of, if it's not on the list, it doesn't matter. Just when you think, what's the worst? Like for me, the problem with not having money was that people wanted something of me, like, because I couldn't pay my bills and I wanted to give it to them, but I couldn't. And that was the worst thing, was wanting to give and not having it. So for you, what's the worst thing?
Not feeling safe.
Not feeling safe. Perfect. Okay. So that feeling of not feeling safe. So when you think about not having money and you feel that feeling of not feeling safe, now where in your childhood did you feel that same feeling of not feeling safe? So we're not looking at money. We're just looking for the feeling of not feeling safe.
It's like you're not going to find me.
That's okay. That's okay. Just also say the first thing that comes to mind, even if it doesn't seem to make sense.
Where in my childhood did I not feel safe?
Yeah. First thing that comes to mind.
Well, the first thing that came up there, because, well, there's a lot of occasions when I was riding horses and ponies, I didn't feel safe.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know, but I don't think that's it.
It could be. So you didn't feel safe while you were riding the ponies and horses. So why didn't you feel safe? What was wrong with it?
Because they were bucking and taking off and
okay,
crashing into jumps, and them stopping and me tearing on through the jump.
Right. Now, why were you riding these horses and ponies when it wasn't safe?
Well, because Dad had to earn his money.
There you go. All right. There's the connection, I think. Okay. So it's certainly a connection.
Yeah.
So do you see the connection there between being put in a position where you don't feel safe and you don't have a choice? You have to do it. It's not your fault. It's not. You're put in that position. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this, but you are put in a position where you don't feel safe and there's nothing you can do about it. You see that? Same thing with money. You're put in a position where you don't feel safe financially and there's nothing you can do about it. You get that? And then of course there's the bonus there's the bonus connection of that's how he had to earn his money. That's just an extra connection there to money. But the main part of it is, so when could you say I don't want to do this anymore because I don't feel safe as a child?
No, you had to do what you were told.
There you go.
Yeah, and all the cousins, everybody was scared of my dad. Everybody respected him, but at the same time, they were scared of him.
Of course. And so now, right now, is there anything you can do about money to get more money?
Well, I could go and look for a job. You know, I could get off my ass and do something.
Right. Now, I'll tell you what would happen if you did that. And I'm speaking so much from experience. I cannot tell you how much I've experienced this. I did, I got an extra job. I got a different job. I did all of that. And your subconscious will do whatever it takes to bring you back in alignment with that. So you will start making decisions or things will happen outside your control to still bring you into that feeling of unsafe. So if you went and got a job, something would happen that money would not solve the problem. And I've got a lifetime of experience of that until you change the references. Now, when you change those references, so that I would do a stepping stone where you say to your dad, listen, I don't feel safe doing this. And your dad goes, of course, no, you should not have to do it. Don't worry about it. I will hire someone or whatever your conscious mind wants as a kind of logical reason. But you do not have to do it. And you can see that little you standing on the fence or wherever you are, watching someone else doing that job. And your dad has got his arm around you and go, I will not put my baby girl in danger. Never. That's the stepping stone. Then the final memory, and so you practice that 3 times in a row. And then the final memory is he never even dreamt of asking you to do it. There is no way he would ask you to do something dangerous. And then see him, again, you can have that moment of you're just watching someone else do it. And he's got his arm around you. There's that connection between you. Perhaps you're talking about the horses, whatever that little you would have rather been doing and he will only let you get on the safe horse, the safe pony. Does that help? I mean, well, does it make sense, first of all? Then does it help?
Yes, there's something there, but I think there's something, all the terrifying experiences actually came probably when I was a little bit older. I'm thinking when I was really, really small. If you're going back to the childhood thing, like say before 11,
yep,
I can't get, it would
be. That's okay. That's okay. Do the horses one, even if it was a teenager, that's okay. do that. That's very important to do that one. Now, if something else comes up early, so if you had earlier ones, we do those first. But since that's the main one that's come up and that's the earliest you can remember right now, do that one first. Now, while you're doing that, you may think of, so what'll happen is while you're doing that, your subconscious is going to change the others from younger, if it can. Now, if it cannot change those automatically, it will bring it up for you. So you will then suddenly remember, oh yeah, there was that. And then you can change that too. Does that make sense?
It's making sense in that once Charmaine was, sold, or, well, actually she was put down because she got laminitis or whatever. But after that, it all started that I never felt safe.
Right.
On other, on other ponies, yeah.
So that needs changing as well, of course, if you haven't already. And I'm assuming you haven't yet because of the emotions there. Charmaine was never put down. She never got ill. She was never put down. Charmaine is still alive today. All right. So change whatever's there about Charmaine. So if you have any memories of her being ill or her being put down or how you heard about it, all of that, change all of that to the opposite, positive and empowering. So Charmaine was like, the healthiest horse in the world, and she's happy and healthy, and you are happy and healthy. So you were riding Charmaine, not those other horses.
All the time.
All the time. Right the way through your childhood.
That wouldn't be possible because
only your conscious mind knows that.
Yeah.
Remember that only the conscious mind can reason and use logic and go, but that's not possible. Your subconscious, the one that will, trigger you into the fight, freeze, flight state when you watch a movie about dinosaurs, that one will believe whatever you give it. So if it will believe dinosaurs, it will believe that a horse can still be alive all the way through, and you can be riding it all the way through your life. Does that make sense?
So it means then I didn't have to help out training the ponies or exercising them?
Spot on. You just enjoyed yourself riding your pony.
Wow.
Your dad's business was his business, and he was very successful at it, of course, right? And it was always easy and fun, and and he'd go, oh, we had such a good time today. We got this horse, and we, whatever the details are, if you want to add details. But you never, ever, number one, never felt unsafe and was never put in a position where you weren't safe. And number two, never had to do anything you didn't want to do. All right?
Yeah,
and I suspect that is a key reference for your money patterns. Makes perfect sense. All right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you, because that is such a great example for everyone else who's addressing money issues, of how it's not about money. Good job, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you, Katrina. And so, Steve, can you add that to the target? Thank you. he's on the ball.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Katrina. All right. So, Lisa, how are you today?
Fine. I can talk today.
You got sound. Yay.
So, Katrina can ride a little unicorn.
Aww.
Yeah, a pink one. Somebody gave me this, so I'm collecting them, I guess. They can have wings and fly. She could fly around and have a good time with it. Have a money path laid out for her, Just make it literally grand,
I love that. So Katrina, actually, you can do that. You can make Charmaine a unicorn with wings.
That'd be so fun.
Because your subconscious won't know it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Lisa, for that suggestion. That's beautiful.
Sure. So I ordered the Becoming Genevieve. 3 of them came in a pack.
Oh,
so
nice.
I started reading. It's really good. It's really amazing. So
good.
I love books. So to me, I was like, yeah, that was like gold to me. I was going to read something. I'm doing good. So I was going to read something out of here, which I found. I just opened these books random. This is from The Universe Has Your Back. It's one of a really positive, loving, a very love state. Okay, so, being in alignment. Okay, being in alignment with your presence means that you allow the energy of the universe to move through you naturally. It means that you set aside all limiting beliefs and smallness and realign with the thoughts, words, and feelings of love. Simply put, your energy is a free flowing expression of love. I love that.
Very good and spot on. Yes.
Yeah. So then I wrote this a long time ago. This is my art book that I'm doing for my other book. So what you're looking for is really, you treat yourself like someone you love. So I am perfect. You're perfect. I am who I've been looking for. And I love that. So it's like, so I wrote that down a long time ago.
Yes, absolutely.
So that was it.
Fantastic. And that's such a great point, because whenever you find yourself wishing for something, give it to yourself in your mind. And whenever you find yourself wishing someone else would be something, create that state inside yourself. I wish I could get into a relationship where somebody is affectionate and kind. Be affectionate and kind to yourself. And then you get Steve.
That's sweet.
And so it works. It does work. So thank you for sharing that, Lisa.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And then Swasti. Hi, Swasti.
Hello.
Hey, how are you today?
Oh, I don't really feel too good today.
Okay. What's going on?
So my mum went to work today, the first day, in like 3 months after the lockdown. And then she came back in a bad state.
Okay.
Because of, well, what people were saying there. And she basically said it was a big drama there because she teaches in a school and there weren't enough kids, but there were more staff than kids. So she was like, it's just a waste of time.
Okay.
So, yeah, she was angry, so I got angry because she was complaining basically for nothing. Like, she has to go to work. She can't change that. So she was complaining for nothing, and that annoyed me. But I didn't want to say that to her, but...
Yes, yes. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so what is the problem? So she's complaining, and there's nothing she can do about it. So, I mean, I completely get why that's frustrating, but what's wrong? Because you could just go, well, she's complaining, there's nothing she can do about it, just observe it. But what is it that's triggering you? So what's the worst thing about it, or what's wrong with it?
The fact that you can't do something about the situation you're in. You have to go to work because they've called you back to work.
Yes. And so how does that feel for you? What's the emotions there?
Annoying and anger, frustration.
Okay, frustration, good. Anger, frustration. Now, where in your childhood did you feel that same anger and frustration? And it may have nothing to do with going back to work, of course.
Yeah. Probably frustrated about results, like academic results. Yeah. So, well, thinking that you tried so hard, but then you got what you got before, yes. Like the same percentage marks or the same ranking in school.
Very good. Now I'm going to take it a little further. And where in your home life did you try really hard, but get the same results? It didn't work. So you tried really hard, but you got the same results.
So in the present, now, not in my childhood.
In your childhood.
In my childhood.
Yeah.
So where did I try? Sorry, where did I tried hard, but I didn't get it.
Right. So
when I was 11, we had to do these level 6 SATs papers or something.
Yeah.
Mock ones to show that we could do the real ones.
Yes.
And then I didn't get it because I thought the reason for that was the teacher was biased.
Right.
She didn't really like me, so she didn't put me through for those. And then my parents got my parents got annoyed at me, but I thought it was her problem because I tried my best.
Right. Okay. So there's a couple of things there. So we put that on a side. So there's that one. Now the other thing is what happens. So when your parents get angry with you or disappointed with you or whatever that is, what's the result? What's the consequences?
Well, they shout at me.
Shout at you? Yes.
And then they compare me to other kids because that's just Indian culture. They'll just compare you, and then they'll talk about how they struggled, like when they had no school because they had no money for education, no money for food and stuff.
There you go.
In their childhoods.
Very good, Swasti. And then how does that make you feel when that happens?
Well, they're saying the same thing again and again. I got it the first time. Why do you need to keep repeating it?
Well, there's the other reference for...
Yeah, because that was your childhood. That was your situation. This situation's not the same.
Right.
We're living in England now. We're not in India anymore.
Yes. And so that's the conscious mind. And so, but there's the other reference for, there's no point in complaining about it. It's already, it's a done deal. There's no point in complaining for it. Do you see the same? Do you see that link? Perfect. Yeah. So what we want to do is go back, change that so that they do not do that. In fact, what they do is they say to you, you know what? We come from a long line of successful, happy, wealthy, abundant people. There is no need to struggle. There's no need to worry about the grades. That's not the most important thing in life. The most important, get them, create memories of them teaching you what you learn here. All of this information, okay? Because that goes for everyone. Have your parents and teachers and grandparents teaching you this stuff, because that would be very, very powerful. And you probably need to change their childhoods in order to be able to do that, because that's a very strong and powerful heirloom family tradition to be handing down, right? Struggle, poverty, all of that kind of thing. So you want to definitely change that. And so if you change that, then they automatically are supportive and enthusiastic and encouraging now and relaxed. Now, in addition to that, of course, once you've changed that, also change when you were 11 years old, so that you did get that. You got the highest marks. Okay. And the teacher adored you. You were the star pupil.
Yeah.
So create memories of the teacher saying, I want you all to be like Swasti. Why can't you all be like Swasti? All right.
Yeah. Okay. And I think another reason for why I was feeling like this is because I've got into this cycle of not doing much all day.
Yes. Like
not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I guess. Well, nobody's telling me what I'm supposed to be doing now because school's closed.
Yes.
But I don't know, and I'm not even practicing memories anymore. I don't know why. It's so frustrating that why can't I do something that's productive, that's going to lead me to somewhere? There's no movement. I'm static. Yes. I don't know why I'm stuck.
Okay, and so that sounds familiar, right? Because that sounds like, why aren't you getting better grades? Why aren't you doing something? So I reckon that's where that's coming from. So definitely change that, because you want to change it from, what so many of us grew up with. And I know I definitely grew up, I grew up working from 6 years old. So I definitely grew up with it. And I know a lot of people have, where you have to be doing something, you have to be working, you have to be, if it's not actual work, it's schoolwork or whatever, or chores. And we want to change that reference to where you only do what feels fun and what's enjoyable. So I created a sort of mantra that I live by a few years ago. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And if I have to do it, I'll find a way to make it fun. So if there are things one has to do, we have to do whatever work, and we have to do schoolwork, and we have to do, housework, or whatever it is you have to do, don't do it until it feels fun, until you feel inspired to do it. And so when you're not doing anything, so there's that thing, I know Steve used to say, you know, but I'm sitting around doing nothing. It's not doing nothing. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and all you're doing is focusing on feeling good, that is not doing nothing. That's doing something very important. That's doing the most important thing. That is sharpening your saw before you go back to try and cut down the tree again.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because when I learned about your work and the ESC and the superpower, so whenever I got into whenever I had a bad thought, your quote of this is a insect or cockroach or something,
Yes.
they're going to bring more friends with them. So I would watch YouTube or something to make myself get into that good state. And I felt like I was doing something. But now when I do that, I just feel like you're wasting time.
And I'll tell you,
I don't know how that's changed within 3 weeks.
Yes, and the reason for that is you're making progress. So you're getting close to leveling up. And so your subconscious is trying to keep you safe by going, oh, no, we can't change anything. We can't change this. It's too dangerous. So what you want to do, you don't want to force it, but you want to reassure and go, it's okay. It's safe. So when you get that feeling of, but I'm not doing anything, or whatever those thoughts are that come up, rather than wrestling with it or resisting it, go, it's okay, and love it. And know that you will, as long as you keep redirecting to feeling good in whatever way that is. So practicing the superpower, practicing the new memories, changing memories and that, and you're focusing on the most important thing. The most important thing out of everything is to feel good, because you keep your prefrontal cortex online apart from anything else. And you could sit and watch TV all day, as long as it's uplifting, happy, inspiring, fun, as long as it feels good. And eventually you will think, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I know, I'll do that. You'll come up with that inspiration.
Yeah, I have actually felt that. I think it's the evenings as well, because when I will watch TV in the evenings to relax, to be able to sleep.
Right.
And then I feel really productive. Like I want to do work. That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's it. And that's because there's no more wrestling, and you're not fighting with the thing anymore. And your frontal cortex comes back online, and then you start getting, because we are who we really are. The natural human state is creative and productive. We want to be creative and productive. We want to connect. We want to make stuff happen. So there is no danger, as long as you are feeling good, there is no danger that you won't ever do anything. Now, if you're depressed or you're feeling bad, yes, then sitting watching TV all day feeling bad, watching the news or watching, programs that make you feel bad, yes, then you could spend the rest of your life just doing that. But as long as it feels good and happy stuff, those happy hormones are going to make you they're going to motivate and inspire you.
Okay, so just a summary quickly. So from here on, I need to change references of parents saying you have to do this, of work, basically.
Yes. So make it create new ones and change any old ones that come up, of where your parents are relaxed. They come from a long line of abundant people. So there's never any reason to struggle. There's never any reason to work hard. They've got investment. Their parents had investments and, whatever you want to create there. So there was never any struggle.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Because you can imagine if they grew up like that, there would be no reason to push you. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome, Swasti, and thank you for sharing, because I know it will help others too. Good job, you. I'm very proud of you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Okay. And so going on to who's next on my screen? Sue. I saw you put something in the chat. Did you want to speak, or did you want me to read out your message? Hold on, you're muted. I've unmuted you.
Okay, there, I'm unmuted now. Okay, you can read it out. I just hear what I said. I just wrote. I'm on the cell phone here.
Okay.
So
All right. So Sue says, hi, you may use my name. I am having a bit of a challenging time. My husband's business is broke. If he does not get the loan he has applied for, he will have to close. He has 70 employees. He is so stressed, which is affecting me. He has not drawn a salary for 3 months, which means I am also not getting any money as I am financially dependent on him. I have created an advert which I want to put on the village's Facebook page, and that is still bringing up feelings of not good enough, not professional enough, don't look at or fit the profile of a photographer, whatever that is. And so the list goes on. Also scared of criticism or rejection, even if I don't hear or read it, what others may be thinking or saying. Grr. All right. I like the grr at the end. All right. So I've unmuted you again, Sue. So, okay, good. Thank you for sharing that, Sue. Now, this is one of those prime examples where it looks bad. So it looks bad, but it cannot turn out to be bad as long as you don't buy into it. So the fact that your husband's business is in the situation it's in, he's got the employees, there doesn't look like there's any other option other than perhaps that loan, but if that loan doesn't come through, it looks like that's all there is, there's nothing else. And that the advert in the village, on the village's Facebook page, is the only action you can take right now. So here's the truth. There are options, alternatives, and solutions that are beyond what you could imagine from where you are now. We don't know what they are, but they're there. And so whatever, prioritize getting into that feel-good state first, whatever that takes. So practicing the superpower as much as you can, remembering to treat it like physical exercise, physical conditioning, workout, because that's exactly what it is. So it's not like you do it once and then you do it next time and once in a while, because then you'll never get fit. Of course, each time you go to do it again, you'll get out of breath or your muscles aren't strong. You want to do this religiously and consistently to build that stamina, to build that physical conditioning inside your own brain and body. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Now, in addition to that, I would say go on a diet of all news and negative stuff. Facebook,
it's quite hard. But I will. I'm thinning out. I haven't gone on a full diet of it, but I'm thinning out. But I think I need to go on a
well done. Because here's the reason: every single time. So it's like eating a donut. So you're going sugar-free and you're doing these exercises, you're lifting weights or you're running or whatever, and then you eat a donut. And it's like, you can, but you're undoing what you've just done. So by reading negative stuff, taking part in negative stuff, it's, you're undoing your progress that you're making. That's the reason for it. It doesn't mean you can never do it. It's just while you are getting your body fit, you don't want to be eating donuts. Okay, so that's that. Now, so that takes care of those parts. The second thing is, of course, childhood memories. So what you want to do here is check what's the worst thing about it, what's the worst that can happen, what's the problem with what's the worst thing about your husband's business going broke and him having 70 employees and you not being able to get money. What does that feel like? And then we're in your childhood and change those memories to the opposite, positive and empowering.
First, what I have to say, like look at sort of like how I feel about it, because like when I think about all sorts of stuff comes up for me, like in my body and I suppose in my thoughts too. Well, thoughts first and then body, I guess that's how it goes.
Don't spend too long in that.
Shortcut though. Yeah,
don't spend too long in that. Check your childhood. And when you can't find anything in childhood, practice new childhood memories. Create new childhood memories, practice new childhood memories where you felt safe, you were abundant, you felt loved, there was plenty of affection, all of that, each time you start wandering off to the what's wrong now, redirect, keep redirecting, because soaking in the what's wrong now is definitely not going to change it.
No.
So you might as well keep redirecting and playing those new ones. So think of it this way: your subconscious keeps going, "Oh, but this," and you go, "No, we're not doing that anymore. This is look here, look here." So you keep telling your subconscious to look at the new stuff, the new memories. All right. And then the final bit, and I know this is quite a lot, so you'll probably want to watch the recording of this and maybe make notes. But the final,
what I do, all of them, sometimes more than once.
Good. Well, the final part of this is of course to fill the whole lot with unconditional love. Whether your husband gets the loan, he doesn't get the loan.
That's sometimes when you talk about that, then I just go like, wow, I just can't find that thing. And then I remembered what you said in one of the other videos. But it's just actually, correct me if I'm wrong, it's sort of like when you say it's unconditional love, it's like, it doesn't have to be like a feeling, it can just be that light or that sense or that energy that you feel when you think of your subject.
Yes, exactly. And then you want to strengthen it, so you start with that, and then dial it up as you can, so very gently. Start thinking about, so if this never changes, how do I want to love it all? It doesn't change, keep it filled with light. So in the same way, when you imagine your kitty or your dog, and you're holding them and they want to get away from you, and you feel that love, you keep them filled with that love, even if they don't want to be with you. That's what you want to do with this situation as well.
Can you use like a kind of a symbolism sort of thing? I mean, I'm just thinking like, how am I going to get that when I'm feeling so, I suppose, caught up in that negativity? Like maybe if I sort of like imagine that I have a flashlight and I shine it on that.
Absolutely. And what will make it easier is if you get into the state first. So put that aside, that's your target, and put the target aside for the moment and just focus on feeling that love for your pet. That's all. Love for the pet, why you love them, what's so wonderful about them, the funny things they do, that connection and love between you. That's it. And once that is really strong and you can feel the light, you can feel the power, you can feel the unconditional love, then do the flashlight thing.
Okay.
All right.
So and that's when you're wanting to send it out to.
That's it, to your target. Does that help to make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Oh yeah, it does. And it's sort of it's maintaining that. Sometimes when things are going okay, then I feel that it's much easier to do. But when as soon as like challenge comes in, it's like, oh my word, where am I gonna? It's like I have to really dig deep.
Yes, and that's why you want to do most of your practicing when you're feeling okay. Like if you learn to ride a bike, and then you keep going up and down steps on it, or over bumps, until you've learned to ride it properly. So you've got to practice on a straight road first, right?
Yeah.
Until you're really good at it, and then when you hit a bump, you're okay. But sometimes you come across a bump before you've learned to ride it comfortably, and then you fall off, and that's okay. It was a bump, and then you get back on and you keep practicing on the straight road as much as you can.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I just want to say that this time I'm making supper. Monday to Friday is my cooking time now that Rolf's back at work.
Yes.
And so I normally start making supper at 5. So tonight I've sort of like prepared the supper, but I'm going to have to switch my video off again just now to go and continue.
No.
I don't think watch me in the kitchen.
I'm glad you could be here for this time. Good job, Sue.
Really nice. But I listen to you in the background anyway.
Good. Well, have a nice supper. All right. Bon appetit.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers.
Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi, hello. I was waving goodbye to Sue, but there we are. Oh, well, I think you're always answering the questions. Everybody else's stories constantly answer any little niggly bits, important bits. So thank you for that. And I love Tina's hippie mummy.
Good.
My mummy, in one of my lovely stories, she's a bohemian lady, in the sense of, you know, artistic, creative, and she smokes a very, very, very long cigarette in a holder.
Nice.
They're like that. Anyway, that's just in case anybody else needs a lovely mummy.
Yes.
But I do have a little question, which is when you ask us in our opening and closing meditations, when we're sending our love to little me,
Yes.
And then you say, and send it into the darkness or anything that's not right of the childhood. And my mind's suddenly thinking, oh, but no, I've changed all my childhood. It's all good now. So I'm a little bit in that moment. Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to step back into the negativity.
No, and there's no need to. So that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up, Chris, because other people may have that question as well. Send it to the good stuff as well. So basically, send it to the whole childhood. And if there's no darkness, so much the better.
Good.
All right. So just send it to whatever's there. It's for those who still have some stuff that hasn't been changed. Okay, so I'm glad you asked that so I could clarify it. Thank you.
There we go.
Good job, Chris. Thank you. All right, and Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how are you today?
Well, there's been a lot today. So listening to everyone, you know, I feel so close to everyone in the group. And when I was listening, a couple of things today, I have to say to two friends here. So first to Swasti, as a mom, I've been a mom for about almost 30 years. So I have a little experience. I think I'm pretty good at it. And I just want to say that if you were my daughter, I would be so proud of you. I would tell you every day how much I love you and what a beautiful person you are at such a young age. It's just incredible. Like, I really would say that because I think she's an amazing young woman. And the last word I would use to describe Swasti is stagnant. I mean, she is continually working to improve herself every day. And I couldn't be any more proud if she were my child.
Yeah.
I had to get that off. The next thing I wanted to say was to Katrina. Oh, boy, when she was talking, when she was talking about her dad, the irony, all I could think was the irony that her dad, you know, didn't value when you had bills to pay and you didn't pay them. He didn't value that in a person. You know, he makes, you know, maybe made her feel bad or whatever. But then the irony of not leaving her money, you know, that she shared with us later, you know, earlier about her dad, that just broke my heart too, because I felt like I was triggered by that. I said, geez, you know, he was her beautiful daughter and he didn't, you know, he didn't value her in the way that he should have. So that in particular has been sitting here and I know that it probably has something to do with me as well, but I felt really bad about that he treated her that way, and that, you know, if he had given her the money, she could have paid her bills. But so I knew that, you know, was something that, you know, it brought up in me, the way my dad also treated me. But I just wanted to encourage her also that, you know, she's beautiful, beautiful person. When I think of her as a little girl, I think she deserved so much love. Okay.
So thank you for sharing that, Cheryl, and thank you for your sweet kindness and compassion, because I know that means a lot. Now to you.
I felt like it was like I just got run over a little bit, like all that.
Of course, that's from, and so of course you've got references there that need to change. So because we want to feel kindness and compassion, but without getting into the swamp with the person, which is
well, I'm an empath. It's very difficult. So
right. Exactly.
But
okay.
About me, I wanted to say something about my basement.
Yes.
Okay, so I was down there earlier, and then it was time for the class, and I said, nope, we're going to stay here until you finish at least doing the laundry. Now I'm back out, but today I borrowed a truck from a friend, and I really need a push because I was convinced I was going to go down there this morning and just start dragging everything out of there. And then when I got down there this morning and I looked around, it's like I couldn't take the stuff out. Something, you know, again, is stopping me, and it's so infuriating.
All right, so that's a good thing there. So on that bit, I reckon there's some kind of anchor there. So who or what does that stuff represent for you? If that's a person, who would it be?
If the stuff was a person, I feel like, again, I think a lot of stuff I don't want to get, I think it would more be the future. Like I think, oh, I might need that down the road, or, you know, do I want that? What if the kids want to play games and I threw away all the games? Or, you know, I have a couch that I love, you know, someday I could refinish it, or, you know,
Okay.
So I don't know who it is. It's the lack, I guess. I don't know.
All right. So all of that is the logical mind, the conscious mind, coming up with logical reasons for the feelings you're having. Okay. Now, those feelings are where the references are. So what is that feeling? Because you could just buy some more games, right? You could just get it. So what's the feeling behind that?
And I'm so frustrated with myself because I've been doing this, but then here it was, the moment of truth. I go down there and I couldn't do it.
And that's
so
okay.
The feeling is I'm going to regret getting rid of it. Good. So that feeling of I'm going to regret, just that bit, I'm going to regret something. Where in your childhood did you feel that feeling of I'm going to regret? If there isn't anything, that's okay. We can go somewhere else. There's plenty. I don't know.
Okay. That's okay. So now let me ask you, so what's wrong with regretting? So if you're going to regret it, so what?
Okay, so if I regret it, then I'll be like, you know, that feeling of, oh no, I got rid of it. I wanted it. Why did I do that? You know?
Good. And so what's that feeling?
Like I screwed up first.
Yeah. Good. And then where's that feeling in your childhood? I screwed up. Why did I do that? I screwed up. Anything there?
I don't think so. I think in my childhood, I was the one doing everything. So I think I...
Okay, so there's another take on it then. Who screwed up in your childhood? Why did they do it again? Who's that?
Oh, so like my mother screwed up. She was... Okay.
So that's what it is. It's witnessing your mother screwing up, and I don't want to be like that. If I screw up, if I regret, I'm going to be like that, and I definitely don't want to be like that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So changing your mum to the opposite, and you know, whatever it was about her that she screwed up, change it completely.
I've been doing that. I've been doing that so much. I guess I'm just feeling, I've done a lot of work on the recreating. I just want to get rid of the stuff.
I know that feeling. And you know, I had a lot of stuff, so I know that feeling. But you forcing yourself to actually do the thing of getting rid of the stuff is not going to solve it. You want to do the work in your head. Clear the stuff in your head. The other thing you can ask yourself that I asked myself is, what am I not willing to let go in me? What in me am I not letting go of? Am I not willing to let go of?
Okay.
What is there in me that I know I could or should let it go, or that it would improve my life, but I'm not willing to let it go yet?
It's the past. It's the past.
Exactly. So then address that, and it may need due justice letters to be able to do that, because it may feel unsafe to let go of the past.
Okay, so Odille, if I go downstairs and try and just throw everything I can into the truck today, and I'll take a picture of it at the end so I could share it tomorrow, or I can't be here tomorrow, but Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Even if I do that, it's not going to be enough because it's going to happen again.
Right. So you can do that, I mean, do that if you want to. That's a practical thing you can do. And if you want to do that, absolutely do it. But do the work as well. Do the inside work as well. Do the due justice, change your childhood, let go of the past. Now, if you did that first, if you made the priority changing the stuff in your mind, you wouldn't be able to stop yourself from getting rid of the stuff. It'll be like, this feels so good. I can't wait to, achievement. So, and I know we're running over time, but I think this is really powerful. My experience of clearing my mum's stuff. When my mum had to go back to South Africa, and her room, she was living with me for 5 years, and she was an accumulator. There was a huge amount of stuff, and I hated sorting things out and going through stuff and clutter and all of that. I absolutely despised it. I didn't like any kind of physical work at all. Just like, I want to pay someone to come and do it, but I didn't have the money to pay someone to come and do it. And also it was her things. Now I changed it in my head. I changed the references I had around stuff and all that. And I woke up in the morning, and this had to be done in like 2 days or something. I had to clear this stuff because we were getting lodgers into the room. And there was, I can't tell you how much stuff there was, but I was excited to do it. And I said to my sister, I can't believe this. I got up in the morning, I went, oh, yes, I'm going to do that. And I was organized, and I sorted through it, and I got it done. And there was no resistance. There was I mean, I actually enjoyed it. That's what you want to get to. Okay. And that happens when you change the references. All right?
Okay. I'll keep working. Thank you.
Good job, Sharon. Thank you for sharing, sweetheart. Very, very good. All right, so I'm going to quickly read the chat. So there's some messages to each other and support. That's great. And don't think there's any, Steve, have you got any targets if there's any targets in the chat, have you got them? Okay, great. So let's go into the aiming section now. And Steve, if you could send me the targets, please. Thank you. All right, everybody, take a deep breath and go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. Repeating your word or phrase, using your anchor, or imagining hugging your subject. Very good. And allow yourself to really focus on everything you love about your subject, to amp up that feeling. Tune in. Good job. Now allow your heart to open. Allow that light, that energy to shine out from your heart. This is your power. Allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love, that power. And now allow that light or energy to fill your subject. Love your subject just for existing. Very good. And now imagine your subject doesn't want to be with you, or is feeling miserable or something. And keep them filled with that same light, that energy. Love them anyway, exactly as they are. No matter what. That's where your power is. Very good. And now let's go to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very, very good. And now to Swasti. Fill Swasti with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Swasti just for existing. Good job. And now allow that light, that energy to overflow from Swasti and fill the frustration, the anger, whatever's there, that part of her. Fill that part of Swasti with that same light, that energy, that love, exactly as it is. Shining that light into any darkness. Very good. Now allow that light or energy to fill Swasti's mum exactly as she is, whether she's angry or not, whether she's complaining or not. Fill her with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Swasti's mum exactly as she is. Very, very good. Good job. And now over to Tina. Fill Tina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tina just for existing. Very good. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Tina and fill her mother with that same light, that energy, whether she's rushing or not. Love her exactly as she is, just for existing. And now fill the part of Tina that finds it difficult to imagine her mother being laid back. Whatever that is, love that all anyway, exactly as it is. Love the resistance. Very good. Shining that light. Good job. And now over to Chris. Fill Chris with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Chris just for existing. Very, very good. And now to Cheryl. Fill Cheryl with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Cheryl just for existing. And allow that light, that energy to fill the part of Cheryl that is struggling to let go of things. Whatever that is, love it all anyway, exactly as it is, without needing it to change, shining that light into the darkness. And now allow that light, that energy to fill all the stuff in Cheryl's basement. Whether she gets rid of it or not, love it all exactly as it is, shining that light. Good job. And now to Sue. Fill Sue with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sue just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from Sue and fill all of the financial issues and worries. Fill it all with that light, that energy, whether it changes or not, shining that light into any darkness. Fill Sue's husband with that same light, that energy, from the tips of his toes to the top of his head and out to his fingertips. Love Sue's husband exactly as he is, just for existing. And now allow that light, that energy to overflow from Sue and her husband and fill the business, the loan, whether they get it or not. All of that with that light, that energy, that love, loving it all anyway. All of the options and possible results, love it all, no matter what. Worst case scenario, shine that light. Loving it all anyway. Good job. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Katrina just for existing. Very, very good. And now allow that light, that energy to fill Katrina's whole childhood, the horses, the feelings of not being safe, her dad, all of that. Shine that light into any darkness. Love it all anyway. And whatever those money patterns are, love all of that, shining that light. Loving it all anyway, no matter what. Good job. Now everyone who's off camera, fill them with that same light, that energy from the tips of their toes to the top of their head and out to their fingertips. Love each one just for existing. Good job. Now sending this light, this energy, this love out into the world and filling all the fear, all the anger, all the people with the same light, this energy, and shining this light into any darkness, loving everything and everyone exactly as they are. That's your power. Very good. And now to everyone watching the recording, fill them with that same light, that energy, that love. Love them just for existing. Open your heart to receive the love from all of us. Feel that amp up your power. Very good. And now yourself later today, fill that version of you with that same light, that energy, that love, no matter what. Whatever you'll be feeling or doing or experiencing, love that version of you exactly as you are, no matter what. Very, very good. And you can open your eyes if you have them closed. And how's everybody doing? Any questions or comments before we go? Hopefully that was good for everyone, and we'll be doing the same tomorrow. And keep practicing, of course. Swasti says, thank you, I feel so good now. Good job, sweetheart, and well done for being here, because that's the first thing that, you know, there's many people who would like to change or whatever, but they aren't able to get themselves to take the action of actually watching the videos or being here. So I'm very, very proud of all of you anyway, but especially when you're not feeling good and you turn up anyway. That's really so admirable, because if we don't know, of course, we can't help you. So it's brilliant that you come and that you reach out. So good job. I'm excited for you. And every time that we go through something where it feels like we're struggling, it feels like we've gone backwards, it feels, you know, challenging in any way, every time we go through one of those, we're leveling up. It's like lifting heavier weights. You're getting stronger. You're getting closer to where you want to be. You're getting closer to the results you want every time you go through that. So that helps as well. All right, everyone. Lots of love to all of you. I love you all very much. And we will see you again tomorrow. Keep practicing. Bye-bye now.